Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day as we jump straight into the race weekend action here from the Quaker State 400 from Kentucky Speedway, which still remains on the schedule, at least here in the career mode aspect of things, coming off of the ups and downs of Darlington, where it turned out to be a relatively solid ending for us after what turned out to be a pretty good weekend there in that throwback weekend to Denny Hamlin, specifically from our team. All drivers running, of course, throwbacks to Denny Hamlin, throughout his career. Now, Hamlin is the only Joe Gibbs driver now, of course, this season without a victory, his final season, and he comes into this race out of the playoffs, and not by much, just behind Bubba Wallace, but still, obviously, some work to do as we focus in here on this Top Golf Toyota Camry in practice. Actually, in practice, Ryan Blaney blows the tire. That's a bit of a bad sign, maybe, of things to come in the race. He gets into the pits there without any issues, but the goal was a 30.735, and I was struggling to find the pace in this car to be able to match that, objective. I couldn't quite hit it here. I was over half a second off just about like every lap, it felt like. So we focus now Saturday early noon qualifying with a goal of a 30.890 at this point here. Kentucky, it has its moments. One of my least favorite mile and a halfs, at least, to drive in the game. It's never been that great for me. And we roll down into 1 and 2. You want to get it right close to that yellow line, but not too close. There's kind of a weird kind of spot with the apron there, so you got to stay a little bit away from it. But I was too far away from it there. Turns 3 and 4, we get basically where you want to be, and it's all about getting on that gas pedal as hard as you can, but not too much on the exit of 4. Into the outside wall, and that's going to ruin our lap. Now we're going to bring it to the line way off the goal, nearly a full second, and that's going to put us P26 for the Quaker State 400. So really didn't get a good idea of where we would have been. So it's hard to tell what direction we need to go with the car. I just throttled up too early, just trying to get too much out of it. It's okay. We have a win. So, a lot of concerns are gone at this point in the season. Now, Blaney rounds out the top 10 on pole, though. Last week's winner, William Byron, finally ended that winless streak. Well, he starts up front again here in Kentucky alongside Chris Buescher, Elliott Reddick, and how about Carson Hocevar, who was very strong last episode there in the mix. You see the Truck Series now finishing order on your screen. It was Matt Mills who held off Friesen and Kligerman for the win. As you see the rest of the order there, Tanner Gray down in 21st place, Tad Moffitt, as well as Mason Maggio all the way at the bottom with Doug Barnes Jr. and as well Akinori Ogata. Xfinity Series had some racing, and William Sawalich again wins 2 races in a row, his 3rd win of his season. He is definitely looking to be a potential prospect going into the Cup Series next season. Sanchez as well, another good run for him, and a respectful run for Connor Zilish as well as Rajah Caruth. But now, let's get ready to go racing here from Kentucky in the Cup Series.
We're here from Kentucky Speedway in search of who can take over these mile-and-a-half tracks. William Byron snapped a near 80-race winless streak last week in Darlington. Could Brad Keselowski end a long winless streak tonight?
I'd love to see it, Mike. That boy Brad has run well here many times and has been so close to winning in that 6 car. I think tonight could be the night for him.
Don't forget, guys, following tonight there will be just 10 races until the playoffs. Expect some teams to start making creative pit calls.
All right, team. We've been on a roll here, so I don't know how it's going to go tonight, but let's try to keep it up.
Absolutely, mate. A great few weeks we've had. Let's do it again tonight.
We're ready to roll here. How about that NTT data? Number 6 for Brad Keselowski. You see it a bit more throughout the episode. Love that paint scheme on his car finally showing up. Cachinero whipped that one up a while back. Looks incredible. Love that paint scheme. Definitely one of my favorites that we actually have. Ty Gibbs looking a bit slow. Denny Hamlin, his final race here in Kentucky, sent to the back in that green Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry after missing the driver's meeting. Rumor is he was actually playing basketball with Michael Jordan in the infield. Now, as we're ready to roll here in this number 19 Top Golf machine, the green flag is out and NASCAR Cup Series action is underway from this Kentucky Speedway. Alongside myself is the rookie of the 27 of Sammy Smith there for that Andretti Global car. Of course, we got as well another rookie right in front of us, Austin Hill. And how about Rajah Caruth in the number 98 up our inside, and the 98 for Andretti as well. He had a very strong run earlier in the season, so we definitely cannot underestimate Caruth now, and it was actually at a mile and a half where he made his debut this season. One of the rumors floating around recently is Caruth could be looking at an opportunity with Hendrick Motorsports depending on if Corey LaJoie can turn his season around or not. But as well, I'm hearing it sounds like Hendrick is willing to give Corey LaJoie until the end of the regular season to figure things out, and if he does not improve, he could be out of a ride for the final 10 races of the season while Hendrick kind of looks to experiment a bit. But yeah, it's been an absolutely miserable season. He had a good run though last episode in Darlington, actually ran top 5, which was nice to see. Is actually running to the back of that Meyer Shank 06 Ford Mustang of Daniel Suarez now as he goes down this front straightaway. But I mean, we are not having a good start here. We're 2 complete laps in, and we run P27 side by side for 26 now. Forced 3 wide by the 60 RFK machine of Justin Haley, your Richmond Raceway winner earlier in the season, moving his way forward early on after a poor qualifying effort now, and we're 3 wide down the back briefly here, but we continue to go backwards. It's not been a pretty start, and we would actually continue down to about 31st place. Suarez passes us, John Hunter Nemechek passes us as well, and here is Corey Heim. We would be able to pass him as he ran the top in 3 and 4, so we just went to the inside. There's Chase Briscoe going backwards in that Money Graham 14, and there you have Chandler Smith, colleague racing all the way up on the outside alongside Suarez. Tire failure into turn 1 for Smith, and the caution's gonna fly early as he goes around. Hamlin's gonna get a piece of it as well, and same for Zane Smith. The Smith's all getting collected aside from Sammy Smith. The caution is out. Nobody is gonna come to the pits. We cannot make it to the end of the stage if we were to pit now, so everybody once again stays out. 35% races, keep in mind, for really the remainder of the season. The green flag is back out, and we are going to have 20 laps of racing to go here in stage number 1 behind that 42 of John Hunter Nemechek, and it's currently the 17 of Chris Buescher who's out in front here of this pack of cars. Now Buescher, 1 win on the season for him. He had a rough start to the season. I don't know if you guys remember, but he had a pretty rough go in the first handful of races, and then was able to find victory lane and has been able to kind of just run solid. He hasn't quite been able to put up what we saw from him last season, almost like RFK in real life, where they just haven't put up exactly what we were seeing last season from them in the 2023 season that was there. So Brad Kozlowski, though, I mean, has been looking for victory lane, has not been able to find it in real life or in the career mode. Now William Byron finally snapped it long winless streak in the career mode. Can Kozlowski finally find victory lane, maybe tonight or sometime soon, to the outside of the number 10 of Noah Gregson in that black rifle coffee machine? But he gets ahead. Sammy Smith to my inside, he'll pass us. We drop down to P26, and now we were looking to the inside. Rajah Caruth into turn number 3. There's Riley Herbst in the 38 car. Now Ford has actually increased their spending with Front Row Motorsports coming into this weekend, and it wasn't really showing. It was supposed to come a few episodes ago. I quite simply forgot, but it's here this weekend for both cars, but it's not showing. Todd Gilliland's having a really rough run outside the top 30 right now, which was a bit surprising to see. Maybe they just got the setup wrong for this weekend, because they are definitely at this point now, this weekend for the rest of the regular season, expected to do better, and he's expected to get into that top 30 in points and make the playoffs with that Daytona 500 win. A bit of aggression from Caruth, a bit of contact he and I had right there into turn 1, so that gets him ahead, and he continues forward now, passing his teammates of Sammy Smith as well as Carson Hocevar, who started, top 5, and he's dropped outside of the top 20 here. As we come to the end of lap 14, we clear the 42, so we're up to 22nd place, but obviously, as you can imagine from our recent history here in these races, I'm not happy with it. We are so far off, bro. I mean, it's loose and tight at the same time. I don't know what to do.
10-4, we're going to have to experiment a bit with it here.
You hear James Small, our crew chief, just saying, hey, we're going to have to experiment a bit as a caution is actually going to come out. So this is exactly where we can do that experimenting now. We're going to come in and get tires, of course, and feel specifically about some adjustments. Reason for the caution, Heim blows a tire into the outside wall. Caution flies here from Kentucky. So we'll come in, and it was mainly a little bit of grill tape. Wedge is at 50 flat at this point, and we're just kind of making minor adjustments, see what happens, and then we'll look for some more major adjustments going towards the end of the stage. 7 spots lost for Kozlowski, who goes down to 16th place. There's William Byron. He has dropped down the order in that number 24 Lego machine. The green flag is back out. It's going to be 7 laps of racing to go here in stage number 1, and it's still Chris Buescher out in front of this field. Buescher looking maybe like the favorite early on, but up there with them, you got the Trackhouse drivers, Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch, and Shane Van Gisbergen. And SVG started, P20, so he has done a really good job working his way forward. And when you can see a car do that, go from, 20th or worse to the front into the top 5, they definitely insert themselves as a potential favorite in the race. So definitely pay attention to that number 97 as this race goes on with Shane Van Gisbergen looking for his second win of the season and looking for a second oval win of his Cup Series career. Got his first oval win last season as his part-time schedule really worked out for him at Kansas Speedway. Here comes Denny Hamlin, who's slowly been going forward now after missing the drivers' meeting, starting at the back. He gets up my inside, passes me. I didn't make it hard on him, but actually Shane Van Gisbergen was briefly leading here. You see it on the track map, so he's out in front now in that 97, but it didn't last long. 3 to go on the stage, and now Buescher back in command here now as we go to the inside of the number 10 Colleague Chevrolet of Noah Gragson as we go down this back straightaway side by side, but Gragson not making it easy on me now, keeping it in right that middle to lower part of the track to where it was really hard for me to complete the pass with the just kind of struggles I'm currently dealing with this car. And it was so weird. With 2 to go on the stage now, Chastain leads, looking like he's going to maybe get the stage win, but the car, it's tight and it's loose at the same time, and I just felt like I can't really do anything. And we are still side by side trying to clear this number 10 down the back straightaway on this final lap of stage 1, and it's Ross Chastain, more stage wins than anybody this season. Chastain, I believe this is going to be his 7th stage win of the season as he crosses the line to win stage 1, still side by side with Noah Gragson to the line. P23 is what we get there as Gragson just gets us crossing the stripe. I'd say I'm surprised, but it's a colleague car. I mean, racing, as hard as he possibly can, like his career's on the line there. You hear my radio, not necessarily impressed with how Gragson raced me, but it's more frustration that we've had such a good stretch of races and now we're running 23rd. 50.2 on the wedge. I said 50 flat earlier. That's inaccurate, but we go big swings here. We're putting the right side tire pressures to 60 psi. The left sides, we're going to crank them down to about around the 18 area is what I felt comfortable with going with. So a huge swing. Tire pressures can change everything. Tyler Reddick lost 7 spots in the pit, so he goes from just outside the top 10 to just a row in front of us. Ross Chastain leads the field back to green. Chastain's bread and butter, of course, is these kinds of tracks, these 1.5 miles. He's so strong at the 1.5 miles. You put him on a short track, he's never really a threat on a short track. And Trackhouse racing, it's really interesting. It's a Trackhouse situation. Suarez and Chastain, they are never a threat when it comes to short track racing. You get on a 1.5 mile, Chastain is definitely one of the favorites just about every single week. Maybe not this season. Chastain's definitely had a more quiet year in 2024 compared to the past 2 years, I would say. But we continue on towards the end of stage number 1 and into the start of the second stage now, and it's 25 laps of racing here in stage number 2. Of course, we cannot make it to the end of the stage on feel, but it felt a bit different. We've had some really long races here recently with the run from Charlotte Coke 600 to Dover to Darlington. All long, lengthy races, and now we come into Kansas and it's less than 100 laps, so it's a nice change of scenery a little bit here, and a little bit less endurance and a little bit more get after it and go, as Christopher Bell goes to the lead, one of the favorites from Darlington, until of course that awkward timed caution came out during the green flag pit cycle and screwed over half the field, putting them a lap down. Kyle Larson, Bell, Bubba Wallace, 3 names that were looking like potential candidates, all got screwed over there. As you see, that temp light comes on. Now we've gone a little bit too far on the grill tape, which is obviously something we're gonna have to change, but my car on lap 4 as we go up the inside of Gragson and Hocevar was already starting to slip and slide, which is a really bad sign with 17 laps of fuel. Bro, I'm already starting to slide around here.
Yeah, I see it. Hang in there. We've gone the wrong way.
We can't pit now. We know this is not going to be easy. The temp light's on, but that's not the biggest issue. It's the handling of this car. SVG currently out in front, but we are trying to at least just hang on here with 20 to go in the stage and get as far as we can into this run. A caution's going to come out for sure, probably within the next 10 laps. That's kind of what happens here in this career mode lately, so I'm expecting that to come in and save us. So it's really just about hanging on until that caution happens here, hopefully within the next handful of laps now. But we were battling with this 26 of Hocevar, the handling getting worse and worse every single lap, and you can see it right there sliding up the track. John Hunter to the inside into the near front bumper of Rajah Caruth, and here comes Tyler Reddick now to my inside into turn number 3. We continue to back up in the wrong direction, of course, now, and I'm just hanging on at this point now as we drop to the 23rd position. We'll go down to 24th with Caruth and that 98 being able to get past me as well into turn 1, sliding back down in front of the 06 of Suarez. Shane Van Gisbergen currently battling with Christopher Bell, but you can just see it right there. I'm slipping and sliding, especially on the exit now. Lap 10 of the stage. Look at this. It's all over the place now. It's really the center of the corner onward is where it's really wanting to slide around now as we continue to at least fight as hard as we can. The car is handling terribly right now, probably the worst it's handled all season long. You can just see how much we're sliding visually, but I'm giving it everything I've absolutely got to just try and hang in there. But look at this, on the exit of turn 2, lap 12, you can see it's kind of hitting a point now of no return where we are going to have to pit. Here comes Corey LaJoy to my inside, and no, he runs into our door. LaJoy slides through 3 and 4, saves it. What a save from the 48.
He might be the worst driver in the field, bro. There's no wonder he's losing his ride.
And you hear my response there. After that contact with the 48, we're relegated to 25th, and we continue to slip and slide around. A huge slide on the exit of 2. We save it, but a lap later, the call comes from our crew chief.
Okay, pit here this lap.
James Small makes the call, pit, so we're going to let Sammy Smith go and get to the inside as we come through 3 and 4, and even just trying to get down into the pits. This car is trying to slip and slide around. We're going to miss the entrance, and we got to go back around. So we continue on. We got to go a whole nother lap around here at this point. 9 laps to go on the stage, and the caution that we expected is not happening. And here comes the 31 calling machine who's going to run through the back of us and shove us out of the groove.
I hate every calling car out here.
We continue on, and the tempers continue to build now as we head down this backstretch, immediately getting to the inside, and there's Todd Gilliland running horrendously, 35th right now. Like I said, he should be running better with the improvements that Ford have strengthened the relationship and whatnot, but we're finally going to get to the pits extremely conservative because I didn't want to miss it again. The changes is we went from 18 to 20 on the lefts, 60 to 55 on the rights, and lowered the grill tape as we're going to take those yellow striped Goodyears off and put some new ones on. You'll see some different colored Goodyear tires on the way very soon. By the way, we get a 15.2 second pit stop, so now we hope it stays green until the end of the pit cycle. We are really hoping that happens because we never see that happen, but we had to pit early this time. It was a desperation situation. Pit stop cycles kicking off. There goes Haley Elliott as well. We're to the inside of Kyle Busch, right in the mix of Larson, Blaney, and Busch, and my concern immediately was, after getting 4 fresh tires and like 16 lap fresher tires, it wasn't an easy pass. Look at Larson. He's able to maintain with me through the center of 3 and 4. And our mirror Busch pits, and there goes Logano Kozlowski as well, who has a top 5 car here tonight in Kentucky. We finally clear Larson through 1 and 2. He's, of course, going to be pitting likely at the end of this lap right here. We come back around for another lap, and here is Chase Briscoe exiting. So we've gained some ground back by pitting a little bit earlier, but obviously we lost way more in the long run because of the fact that we missed the pit entry on that first attempt. But we're racing right here with Briscoe, and this would continue down the back straightaway, getting up the inside. Look at the stage leader. It's Chastain looking for another stage win, trying to sweep the first 2 stages. We'll clear this 14 on the exit of turn 4. This is only for 29th place, but we do get the job done. We'll focus in on just bringing it home here. That's all we can do. And actually, Chastain on the final lap of the stage. Briscoe back to my inside. I'm really not focused on fighting him too much. It's just bring it home in the stage. Chastain sweep stage 1 and 2, and now we are just waiting for the caution to come out here and pit again. 4 tires, reset, and try to focus forward here in what's been a very frustrating night so far. 29th place in stage 2. It's not been pretty. You've heard some frustration on the radio. As you can see, some drivers actually are going to stay on the racetrack. This is perfect because we're going to come in and take 4 tires, and we're going to have some slower cars up front which will allow us to pass some cars in the midfield and maybe get us in a decent spot here. You can see more adjustments now. The left sides were 18, we put them to 20, now we're putting them to 25. Going into stage 3 is some more drivers. Ryan Blaney as well going to be staying out. It was Chastain and Van Gisberg in the top 2 as JHN, John Hunter, loses 9 spots in the pit lane, relegated down to 33rd place. The green flag is back out. It has not been pretty here in Kentucky. Ryan Blaney leads the field back to green to start stage number 3 in this Quaker State 400 here for this Kentucky Speedway presented by Walmart. On the run down towards turn 1 there, you see that number 4 Sunny D machine in front of us there. That's Josh Berry. He's had a decent season. They have certainly had their ups and downs at Stewart Haas Racing. We know they're changing manufacturers going into season number 4, but we don't know exactly where yet, because we know Honda is coming in. They apparently have an announcement lined up very soon for their first team announcement, but it sounds like they could have multiple teams with them lined up for next season, but their first one is coming very soon, and I do have confirmation that we will know what teams will be on Honda before the end of the regular season going into season 4. Now here we go, making up some track position. Thank you all these cars that stayed out, because this is giving us our opportunity now. Byron actually back up my inside. It's been a pretty slow night for that 24, trying to defend, of course, his race win from last episode. Now as we have to jam on the brake pedal, Bubba Wallace to my inside will slide back in behind him here into turn number 3. Keselowski really getting the short end of the stick here, our top 5 car, and he would drop way down the order. I'm actually passing him now. You can see him just in my mirror. He's outside of the top 20. There's Josh Williams. Of course, we had our contact with him. We've had our fair share of battling with some colleague cars. Noah Gregson as well has not been kind to us, of course, in that battle earlier. Now as we roll through 3 into the top 20, which feels almost like a win, but Gregson to my inside. Now this would carry on through turns 1 and 2. Chris Buescher continues to lead the way as we slide up on the exit of turn 2. Gregson's going through, and I believe Ryan Preece is one of the drivers that stayed out. He is a bubble driver in the playoffs, really telling you how much further Rick Ware Racing has progressed coming into this season. But now we focus in on Gregson again here, running P19, and we're right on the back of him. But here comes that NTT Data Ford Mustang of Keselowski. I love that paint scheme so much. Again, I love it. But we go down lap 66 up the inside into turn 3 at Gregson. Again, we had our battle with him earlier. Is it going to be a little bit kinder? We couldn't pass him earlier in the race. What's the situation going to be this time with that number 10? Of course, we had to run in with his teammate of Williams, and here we go again. This number 10 of Noah Gregson is not going to make it easy as we come through 1 and 2, and it's Gregson is even doing anything wrong. I mean, he's certainly trying to keep me from passing him. He's doing a good job of it, but it's really down at the end of the day to the handling of this car that's really holding us back. It's not necessarily the 10 car, but obviously we've been getting stuck on specifically Gregson. Contact lap 69 nice on the exit of turn 2, and we continue to run in 20th place, and both Gregson and myself are backing up here to these cars behind. Justin Haley right there on our rear bumper as we slide up the track, and Haley's gonna pounce 3 wide briefly on the exit of 2. A bit of contact on the door of the 10 again, and we'll drop down to P21. Haley's gonna go through on the inside. Corey LaJoy just behind in that 22nd place, and that number 48 now as we continue side by side with the 10. Gregson, I mean, he's getting past no problem by these other cars, but he is not making it easy on us in this number 19 Top Golf Machine. Caution out here with 23 laps to go, and it's smoke pouring out of Keselowski in the NTT Data Machine. A top 5 car and an engine issue for him brings out the caution. Fortunately for Keselowski, it's not, I don't think, going to be the end of the day for that number 6, but we all pit. It was simple, 4 tires. We actually gained 2 spots in the pit lane, and we're alongside Gregson. So hopefully we can get away from Noah Gregson here as we're back underway. It's less than 20 to go. It's Buescher, Blaney, the first 2 cars on the inside, and of course Chastain, his teammate of Shane Van Gisbergen, just behind, and actually Christopher Bell, the second car on the inside behind Buescher. Then it's Blaney behind him. We come through out of turn 2 in this top 20 for one of the few moments in this race. 3 wide up the inside of Austin Hill as we head down into turn number 3. You can see Elliott. It's really not been a great night for Hendrick Motorsports as well. Elliott, Byron outside the top 10, Larson barely fighting up towards the top 10, as well as that 48, of course. I mean, as usual, outside the top 20. 18 to go. We're still battling here with this number 8 of Austin Hill into turn 1. Now to the lead, it's our teammate of Christopher Bell, 2 wins, of course, on the season for one of our teammates this season. That's Ty Gibbs right there in front of us. Bell trying to join that club now as we force Hill to back out of it, running P18 here, but he's actually going to get back to my inside, lap 77. Here he goes on the exit of turn 2. He's going to get clear, really, with no issues. And look in our mirror, again, it's our good friend of Noah Gregson. This battle is about to heat up even more as we actually would get to the inside of the 8 of Austin Hill as he started running the outside, and now we're 3 wide with him and Noah Gregson down this front straightaway now. 15 laps to go in Kentucky, and we're going to back up to here into turn 1. Don't want to be 3 wide in the middle. That would just be a silly idea. So we settle in behind that number 10 as Austin Hill continues to run the outside. Gregson through to P18. We run P20, but Hill gets past Chastain as well. Got past Bell for the lead. Back up the inside of that 10 of Noah Gregson, and here we go again. That 10 not going to make it easy there, leaving about half a car width between himself and I as we would continue this battle for the 3rd time here today, and it was getting more and more frustrating. It has been a night where we have not been able to pass this 10. The car hasn't driven well. It hasn't had the speed we've needed, and Gregson just continues to stay on our door, not giving us enough room to open up the wheel on the exit of turn 2. We turn the 10 down the back straightaway. Damage done to the right side. The caution is going to fly with 13 laps to go.
I hope he learned from that one.
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to learn too. Nascar says park it for 2 laps. Unsportsmanlike driving.
That was definitely intentional, guys. He lost his cool there for sure.
Yeah, not a good look. He cleaned it up this year coming to JGR, but not a good moment for him.
But he's lucky he didn't right hook him into the wall.
You hear the conversation with our crew chief, and you heard Boyer and Harvick and Joy in the booth commentating on it. A 2-lap penalty for unsportsmanlike driving. We finally lost our cool, and we had to wait for those 2 laps as they would get back at least underway for this restart. The car got fixed in. Shane Van Gisbergen actually was leading at the time of the yellow, but we had to wait for the 2 laps and let the field come around to serve our, like I said, unsportsmanlike driving penalties. So we lost it there, and it was one of those frustrating races. Just nothing was going well. We give up the 2 laps, and now we're free to go back onto the racetrack. We are lucky that we turned Gregson in the left rear and we didn't right hook him, because the result would not have been the same. We definitely would have faced a suspension if we right hooked him, which I knew. We do not want to right hook someone on a high-speed oval. If you're going to turn someone, do it the way we did it right there. The left rear, just turn them innocently down the back straightaway, but certainly don't right hook them head on into the outside wall. So yeah, we lost their cool, and we're going to move on from it now. Actually, crash. Kyle Larson blows a tire into the outside wall. He goes. That's going to bring out a late race yellow. This is actually going to be 2 laps of racing to go. We have nothing to lose. We can't gain anything. We're just finishing out this race at this point now, and what's been a miserable night here from Kentucky Speedway. It's not been pretty, and we're just bringing it home at this point. Larson's going to, of course, get a poor finishing effort out of it. He continues on. A slow restart for that number 5, but we're back underway for 2 laps of racing. It's Ross Chastain out in front. Chastain won stage 1 as well as stage 2. That number 1 car has been a rocket all night. He has not led the most laps, however, as it's actually Chris Buescher who's led 40 laps, more than anybody, of course, on this track, but Chastain's led really when it's mattered the most here. As we head down this back straightaway, we'll slice up the inside now, and it's Shane Van Gisbergen who's gotten through into 2nd place as we approach the final lap here from Kentucky Speedway. Who's going to hang on, Chastain or his teammate of SVG? We've seen those 2 battle it out before. We saw SVG willing to take Chastain 3 wide on a restart in a recent episode at the Coca-Cola 600. What is he willing to do for a race win for the 2nd time on an oval? Here we are down the back straightaway heading into turn 3. We're going to find out now. Chastain leads on this final lap, trying to go for the sweep, winning all 3 stages, but Shane Van Gisbergen to the inside on the exit of turn 4. It's going to be a drag race. Elliott to 3rd. What a recovery drive for him, but Shane Van Gisbergen wins at the line. He gets Chastain by half a car length. What a finish here in Kentucky, and you see it there, half a car length between the 2. Shane Van Gisbergen joins the list of multi-winners this season as he gets to burn it down in that number 97. What a day for him, as Elliott, Buescher, Logano rounded out the top 5. Alex Bowman for Colleague in P7, as you see the rest of the top 20. Of course, the big story around us there, all the way towards the bottom because of the intentional wrecking of Noah Gregson, which will not lead to to a suspension, but it will certainly lead to a talk with NASCAR in the next episode. Looking at the points now, of course, Gibbs and SVG, the two multi-winners this season, and you can see Denny Hamlin loses points to Bubba Wallace, now 9 points out of the playoffs, and then Hocevar, the next closest one, 70 whole points out. Iowa in the next episode, and a conversation with Steve Phelps and NASCAR. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.